There are many cars that claim to be true sports cars, but how many can point to a heritage as rich as that of the BMW M3? Over the years, this car, or versions of it, have won more national races and championships than any other competition saloon. This is the third generation M3. Visually, this latest M3 is much more aggressive than its predecessor. Sitting on low-profile 18-inch tyres, the M3 is an inch wider than the average 3 Series, and at the front there is an enlarged air intake with spoilers front and rear. Overall, the new M3 looks fitter, faster and perhaps more importantly, meaner than ever. But unlike most other sports cars, the M3 is remarkably practical, although obviously being based on the 3 Series obviously helps. In there's enough room for all of the family, providing of course you've only got 2.2 children, and the boot is cavernous for even the most demanding of shopping trips. But looks and badge will only get you so far, so as we always say, the car looks great, will it go great? Well, actually you and I both know that it goes great, but somebody's got to do it. Now, one of the criticisms of the Mark II M3 was that it had lost some of that sporting prowess that the original had in favour of comfort and sales. But what you can say about this latest generation M3 is that it combines both beautifully, performance and comfort. Performance for the M3 is quite amazing. The 3.2 litre 6-cylinder inline engine can push the car to 60 in just over 5 seconds. And should you be lucky enough to be on the Autobahn, the M3 will go on to a limited top speed of 155 miles per hour, but somehow you know it could go a lot further. Now, the M3 is more than just an engine. It is, of course, the overall package. For example, the steering is brilliant. It's responsive and direct and lets you feel every inch of the road. One of the most impressive things about this car is its versatility. It really is happy tootling along at low speeds in low gears. And you have to remind yourself that you do have 340 brake horsepower to play with, because anytime you want to, drop it down a gear or two and the car will take off. It's the most practical supercar I've ever been in. Demand for the original M3 was higher than expected, with around 16,000 models being sold. Its successor, the more polished Mark II, sold over 77,000, and this success looks like being matched by this latest M3. But with popularity come high residual values, so don't go expecting to find a cheap second-hand model, because you won't. Now, the interior of the M3 is a bit more boardroom than lounge room. It's all black and leather, very typically BMW. But there are a few clues that you're driving something a bit special. The M is on the dash, and the steering wheel, and on the gear stick. And at night, when you've got your lights on, the gear stick illuminates with a nice little fancy pattern. What I really do like is the digital rev counter that tells you basically when the car is warm and ready to be driven hard. When you turn it on first thing in the morning, the red line only just goes up to 6,000 revs, indicating take it easy. But then when the car is warm like it is now, the red line is right up at 8,000 revs, which says one thing to me, and that's go. There are lots of things to get excited about in this car, but one of the most exciting is the sport button on the dash, which changes the car from a supercar into a more responsive supercar. Basically, it means that the throttle will react that little bit quicker. And the only danger is that once you've found the button and used it, you ain't going to put it back. Unless, of course, you're lending it to your grandmother, which I wouldn't advise, button or no button. All in all, it's easy to see why the M3 is so popular. Not only does it have incredible performance, handling and good looks, but it has that all-important sporting pedigree. And I think it's a real rival for the Porsche 911. So the only question remaining is what to do with the £21,000 that you've got left over.